For Poland Daily News, I'm Phil Goss. Polish President Andrzej Duda and Defense Minister Mariusz Błaszczak are attending a NATO conference in Brussels. This year's agenda is called NATO 2030 and is intended to strengthen unity among member countries in the face of aggressive actions by Russia and growing power of China. Andrzej Duda stressed that Poland insists on becoming a framework country for the Eurocorps. First of all, I'm very happy with the final draft declaration because it contains some very important statements for Poland. I hope it will be accepted by the heads of state and government as negotiated. During the summit, President Duda met with U.S. President Joe Biden, French President Emmanuel Macron, and UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Transatlantic policy dominated among the topics of the talks, but also the results of the G7 summit and Polish-French cooperation in the context of European security were discussed. U.S. President Joe Biden stressed the importance of reinvigorating the North Atlantic Alliance.
A growing recognition over the last couple of years that we have new challenges, and we have Russia that is not acting in a way that is consistent with what we had hoped, and as well as China.
NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said that the alliance must urgently deal with China, whose economic, political, and military growth should be constantly monitored.
We meet at a pivotal moment for our alliance, and today will open a new chapter in our transatlantic relationship. Leaders will discuss a wide range of issues, among them Russia, and our relationship with Russia is at its lowest point since the end of the Cold War. This is due to Russia's aggressive actions. I am confident that the NATO leaders will confirm our dual-track approach to Russia, strong defense combined with dialogue.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel pointed out the worrying situation in Belarus and danger to Ukraine. We will also talk about the situation in Ukraine, where we see many challenges, but we must also think about NATO's cooperation with countries such as Georgia. We will also deal with the threats we are currently seeing in Belarus, where human rights are being trampled on. Konrad Fiołek won the election for the president of the city of Rzeszów in southeastern Poland. The local politician was supported by the Civic Platform Party, the Left Party, the Polish People's Party, and Poland 2050. Opposition parties are celebrating their first victory over the ruling Law and Justice Party in many years. Politicians believe that the victory in the by-election in Rzeszów heralds a success in the general election in 2023. Meanwhile, the ruling Law and Justice Party gained 4 additional votes in the Sejm, Poland's lower house of parliament. The Kukiz 15 party announced cooperation with the largest group in parliament. Kukiz 15 leader is rock musician turned politician Paweł Kukiz, who signed a program of agreement with Law and Justice leader Jarosław Kaczyński. It provides for strict anti-corruption regulations, the implementation of referenda, and the appointment of justices of the peace. After several months of negotiations, Jarosław Kaczyński revealed the bills that the ruling camp would support. An anti-corruption bill, the Referendum Day bill, and an important one about justices of the peace were prepared in keeping with the Polish constitution. MPs from Kukiz 15 will support the propositions of the Law and Justice Party, especially a set of bills that introduces the new Polish Deal program. I wanted to share my joy at signing the program agreement with peace. For the first time in at least 6 years, there is a real chance to introduce systemic changes that are key from my perspective and lead Poland towards a fully democratic state. Kukiz 15 members of parliament consider this a positive development, particularly the introduction of electable justices of the peace. First of all, this is a positive change in the Polish judiciary system. Finally, Poles will have influence on the judges we have. We can elect the president, deputies, but this third authority is beyond the reach of the ordinary citizens. The new ally strengthens the ruling camp. I am pleased with this agreement because it means that there will be broader support for the new Polish deal. Paweł Kukiz stressed at the conference that as a result of the program agreement, no ministerial positions will be granted to the deputies. June 14th marks the anniversary of the first transport of prisoners to the Auschwitz concentration camp. Poland remembers it as the National Day of Remembrance for the victims of the German Nazi concentration and death camps. Of 728 Poles who were deported to Auschwitz, only 298 survived the war. Among the first prisoners were Polish soldiers who fought in 1939, members of the underground resistance movement, civilians, Polish Jews, and ethnic Roma. I don't think anyone needs to be told what happened. Over 1 million people died in Auschwitz and others were killed everywhere. But for what? For a free Poland. German soldiers called us Polnische Schweine, Polnische Schweine. I asked my mother why they called us pigs. She said to me, "Quiet, children are not allowed to talk here." And they chased us to the center, then to the bathhouse. They gave us numbers. They were all naked, women, men, boys, girls. It was terrible. The first Auschwitz concentration camp was organized for Poles, and they were the first political prisoners. Starting in 1942, KL Auschwitz-Birkenau became a place of mass extermination of Jews. Between 1 and 1.5 million people died in Auschwitz, including about 1,300,000 Jews, 75,000 Poles, and 20,000 Roma. We cannot repeat what the two countries responsible for the outbreak of World War II did, divide countries and nations to better and worse off. We have a duty to talk about what people experienced in Auschwitz, what was prepared for them in the name of an insane ideology. Tomorrow, this reminder will be even more important. For Poland Daily News, I'm Phil Goss. Good night.